Hi Eric, how are you?
Morning, Rachel. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. So to start, you are playing a detective, which I do love that your career is all over the place and you've played in different genres and different characters and vibes all around. But what is it about a detective story that not only intrigued you to the project, but also added that level of challenge because you also have the audience in a detective story trying to figure it out before the detective can?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun, both as a producer and an actor to get involved in these sort of projects because I think audiences really fancy themselves as being able to figure out crimes. I think whodunits are really popular for that reason. I think we really like to try and figure out the crime and the story and be one step ahead, and they're fun to make, in terms of how much you direct your attention to different characters and where you want the audience to focus their suspicions on and how you calibrate that in the edit and so forth. So they're really interesting to make. We had a they've both been very challenging in their own ways, both stories, both the dry and force of nature, very different in terms of their setting and so forth, and a lot of characters.
Mhm.
Um, and in this case, obviously, our five central women characters who form the core of our story, which was so fun to cast and see those characters on the big screen. So yeah, it's a great genre. It's a fun genre to play.
Yeah, I mean it's his job, but I also understood the desire to find Anna Torv because I was like, yeah, you have to find her. You have to know what happened to my girl. But I do love too how this movie plays with time and because we're learning these stories and also trying to solve a case at the same time. What as a producer, was it ever in your mind to kind of make it more just a straightforward, here is the series of events and then the solving of it, or was it always kind of playing with it so then the audience was also engaged?
It's very much something that we calibrate in the edit. So we always wanted that dual timeline, kind of triple timeline actually, because it's like him in the present, us flashing back to what's occurred just a few days earlier, and then us flashing back to his childhood. So we covered ourselves by just having the material in those three timelines, and then the edit's very difficult in terms of how and when you phase in and out of those moments and for what purpose and how much do you let the audience know? How much do we use the past to inform something that's about to happen? So just a long edit, to be honest, on both films to try and get the calibration and the balance right.
Yeah, and I mean it's very cool to watch play out, but you've like I said before, you've done giant epics with things like Troy, you've done the superhero thing with Ang Lee's Hulk, and you've done a lot of sci-fi stuff with like Time Traveler's Wife, but it is more real and more like centered on these characters and trying to solve this. Is that more appealing to you as an actor to kind of have those softer, not softer, but you know what I mean, like more personal roles versus the big epics where you know you have to do 20 things in order to prepare for a 5 minute scene?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, majority of my career has been this kind of work, this kind of like,
Mhm.
I guess, character work in drama. And then when you get a chance to do the big stuff, it's a lot of fun. But this is the sort of stuff that I'm drawn to. Getting original material up off the ground and making them is very difficult. So we're really excited to get the chance to do this as well as the dry as filmmakers. And I guess you're always trying to be involved as an actor in the kind of films that you want to see yourself, and I love independent cinema and I love just adult drama, so yeah, it's always a pinch yourself moment when you get them off the ground and you get them all the way to the end.
And with both the Dry 2 and Force Nature, you are working as an actor and producer. When you are producing something, what is it about a project that you look for specifically? Is there one thing, or is it just each project has its own individual thing that draws you to them?
I'm looking for things that I can not only act in, but really offer something behind the camera. So whether in terms of like packaging and selling, it's like I say, it has to be something that I want to see myself, and I tend not to get too involved in producing things that I'm not in. So I really like to get my hands dirty on the production. And then, as I say, it's something that I want to champion. It's something that I feel really strongly about trying to get onto the big screen and getting in front of audiences. And so it's very satisfying when you can when you can contribute in that way and get it to the end.
So is it freeing for you as an actor then to also have that producing back to it? Because then if you say something, they have to kind of listen to you because you're also the producer, not just an actor that they've cast.
Well, yeah, well, I'm actually, I'm so involved in the production, I have no one to answer to but myself, so it's like there's no other entity really. So it does having more control is kind of relaxing in a lot of ways. And it means that you're very understanding of every location you go to because you've been there before. And so you have a bit of a leg up. I really enjoy that. Having more knowledge than you otherwise would. And it also, because it embeds you in the production, it gives you more time to think about things as well than you otherwise would. So I love the prep time, and you end up with extra prep time when you're producing.
Yeah, and when I was watching these two, made me happy because I feel like a lot of the times we don't see smaller scale movies anymore. It is normally just bigger budgets, or it's like these end up on a streaming thing, or it's not like we're not doing as many of these. Is it important for you as a producer and an actor to make sure that those movies still have a place and still get to survive, since that's kind of not what we do in the bigger thing anymore?
100%. I refuse to lay down my arms. I will fight the fight my entire career. Yeah, I love these kind of movies. I love this scale of film. And it's very easy to kind of just not give up. It's very easy to just buy into the rhetoric of that I make these movies anymore, that I make this kind of thing anymore. And I've been hearing that for 25 years. And every year or two I get to make a film like this. And I just keep at it and try and not be defeated by what the kind of general consensus or movement looks like being. Because otherwise none of these films will get made if everyone takes that attitude. So Rob and I, my producing partner, we feel very passionate about this level of cinema, and we love making them.
Would you like continue to do other genres too that are quote unquote underrepresented? Like rom-coms are kind of coming back, but they don't really have the like backing to put them in theaters. And I do miss the rom-coms in theaters.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's an interesting point you make. Yeah, yeah, I have thought about that actually, because Americans were so good at the rom-com and the Brits, and they have kind of died off a little bit. You're right. And I don't know if it's the business that's done that, or a writer's not churning them out. I don't know what the answer is. But the first part of your question, I'm always open to everything. I find that it's a really exciting way to work. And I don't close my mind to, I just want to do drama, or I just want to do this, or I want to be the lead or not the lead. I'm open to everything. I read everything that comes my way, and then I just respond to the material that I love the most. So yeah, I'm always open to, and it's probably been reflected in my career as well, because um, that's afforded me different opportunities by being open to different things as well.
Yeah, as I said, you did like I've listed off half of your credits at the start of this interview. But with my last bit, I do have to say I didn't mention Star Trek in the beginning because I quote you in Star Trek 2009, I think on a regular basis,
Which line?
where he's like, "Hello, Christopher, I'm Nero." And me and my roommate just do it regularly because we both love that. And so my last question, as we are talking about, keeping these smaller movies alive and doing this, is there ever a goal where you would want to produce some big kind of franchise thing, or would you rather keep it to those smaller movies?
I probably lean towards a smaller, but again, never say never.
Mhm.
I'm always open to things. And yes, I do love that line. It's a great example of what happens when you have a great working relationship with your director. And JJ's got a great sense of humor. And I remember when we shot that on the day, and it was just like, it just seemed so ridiculous at the time, but so much fun.
I love it so much. Truly one of my favorite. Like I'm team, someone give me the rights for Star Trek 4. I'm making it. I'm so mad that there's not one.
I
But
knew it was either going to be that line or you were going to say fire everything. It was going to be one of the two.
no, it was hello, Christopher. I'm Nero. Because I love it. And I think my Wi-Fi at home is based on that movie. Like we've named it one of the like press junket things. We love Star Trek in my home. But thank you so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for everyone to get to see this and get to see you. You're so good.
Thanks. It was great to talk to you.
Great talking to you.
See ya.